What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about this absolutely beautiful plant called as the Cordyline. Now of course there are different varieties. The one that I'm showing you in this video is called as the Chocolate Queen. Now there are different varieties in this. You will get the plant in the color green, red, maroon, burgundy, even a bit of the cream color. There are different varieties that are coming up in the market, but the care remains the same for all of the varieties. Now I can understand where this plant gets its name as the Chocolate Queen because of this absolutely beautiful chocolate color with this yellow variegation. Looks absolutely stunning. The care requirements are also very simple, very low maintenance, non-fussy plant that you can keep in your garden. Let's start off with light. It prefers a good amount of indirect bright light. It can do well in filtered light as well. Now the reason why you have to offer this plant a good amount of indirect bright light is because of all of those variegations, because if you're going to keep this plant in low light, the colors will start to fade off, and of course you cannot offer it direct sunlight, otherwise the leaves will get burned. So you can either keep it indoor closer to the windowsill where it receives a lot of indirect bright light, or you can grow it outdoor in indirect bright light. Talking about watering, these plants are not drought tolerant, so you have to ensure that there is a slight amount of moisture in the soil. Whenever you see around 1 to 2 inch of the upper layer of soil is dry, go ahead and do a complete watering until the water starts passing through the drain hole. The soil mix remains the same what I tend to use for all of my plants, which is loose, porous and well draining. Use a soil mix which is a mix of coco peat, garden soil and sand, because they prefer a slight amount of moisture which the coco peat is going to provide it with. Garden soil is going to give the basic nutrients and sand is going to make the soil mix well draining. Well draining is very important. All the plants need well draining soil. You cannot have a plant that sits in the pot with a very compact soil, because if the water tends to stay in the pot, then there is a high chance that the plant will get a root rot. Now talking about temperature and humidity, they prefer a range of temperature between 15 degrees Celsius up to 35-36 degrees Celsius. The plant, if it is very well adjusted in your environment, it can even handle a slight higher temperature as well. Of course it's not a frost hardy plant. Now talking about humidity, they're not very fussy about humidity. Average house humidity is more than enough for it. Anywhere between 50-60% is going to work out really well. If you're keeping them outdoor and if you are from a very dry environment, it's best to do a light mist to keep that humidity in place. Now talking about pest issues, ideally this plant does not get affected with pests. They are very pest resilient, but if you have any other plants that are affected with mealybugs or any kind of pest, then of course that can transfer onto this plant. So always do a visual check for spider mites, mealybugs, scale insects. For spider mites it's very easy, just turn your leaves and check. You might happen to notice them. If you notice anything, go for the neem oil spray. That tends to take care of everything. Do not wait for the last minute. Do not wait for the plant to get completely infested with insects. Then it becomes quite difficult. Now talking about, is this plant toxic? Yes, this plant is toxic. So ensure you're keeping this plant away from the reach of small children and pets. Overall, it's a very easy to grow house plant. Low maintenance. It's not a very high maintenance plant. So if you are a beginner, if you're looking out for that dash of color in your garden, then of course this plant can be added in your collection. Now talking about propagation, the best way to propagate the Cordyline is with the help of a stem cutting. Just do a cutting. Either you can do a water propagation or you can put them directly into the soil. Within a couple of weeks, depending upon your environment and climate and the type of season you are in, it will start to root. Ideally it takes around 3 to 4 weeks and that should be good enough. Talking about fertilizers, summer is the best time to fertilize your Cordyline. Do not add any fertilizers during the winter season. You can go with vermicompost, or seaweed liquid fertilizer, any one. During the summers, you can give them a dose of fertilizer once a month and that is more than enough. So that's about it. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.